Hello there! There we are, another year. 3 years in total. In that time, Yandere Simulator did not come out. Chapter 4, Jotunheim, probably hasn't been started yet.
Hey Kronos, we have to file a legal complaint. We're gonna take you to court. You're going to lose. Welcome to the finding out timeline, bud.
And least significant of all, Iridescent is still not finished. Although we will be done before any of the aforementioned. More on that in a bit. Like always, in this video I want to go over all the things that happened in the year with the project. Not only the progress, but also media coverage, feedback and the like. If you are only interested in a couple of the topics, there are timestamps so you can jump around. Without further ado, let's begin. If this is the first video you see like this, or if you just want a refresher on what's already been done, stick around for this part. What I am making here is a Zelda game. A very shit one! The game will have 8 dungeons, with some side content. Last year I finished 7 of the mandatory dungeons. Those dungeons, however, existed in isolation of the rest of the world. Paths and quests to reach those dungeons didn't exist. There were also tools that existed in the game, but were impossible to get because their levels weren't created yet. In short, I had almost all dungeons, but missing most of the in-between stuff. A great chunk of content, but nothing playable yet. So, the obvious, the last dungeon and the final boss have been finished. I hope no one doubted I would finish that, considering my completely normal and healthy work ethic. Alongside that, I made all the quests and levels in between. This bird isn't in the middle of fuck all nowhere anymore, but there where they always should have been. Shortcuts are now shortcuts and not scuffed paths that I have to make scuffed just so you could reach some locations. All this allows you to play the game, finally, from start to finish. The only placeholder quote-unquote part of the game that you still need to play is the final level. The reason for that is because the final level will be very dependent on the side quests. Depending on how many you finish, the level will be easier or harder. Because I'm not 100% sure how the side quests will turn out and how many I will keep in the game, I rather hold off on making the final level. I don't want to either force side content into the game to fit with the final level, or butcher the final level to not have to make the side quests. The final level is supposed to be mostly cinematic, so don't worry about missing much gameplay. Speaking of cinematics, the final cutscene. I'm still not 100% sure how it will be done. I know the broad strokes, but the details are a little bit vague. But we don't only have mandatory content. Long ago I had plans on making a side dungeon. You know, just a normal ass dungeon you can skip if you don't feel like doing it. Makes the world feel more engaging. Conversely, I also had a dungeon that people were miffed about. The second to last dungeon, the 7th dungeon, playtesters found not bad, but kind of meh compared to the others. So I had a brilliant idea. I would remake the second to last dungeon from scratch. Completely new layout, gimmicks and puzzles, but keeping the tile set, enemies and bosses. The old one would be tweaked a bit based on the feedback, given new enemies and bosses, and repainted to fit a new location. The old tweaked 7th dungeon will become side content, and the new dungeon will be mandatory. That way people will praise me for giving you so much expensive side content, while in reality I'm just being extremely lazy. There were a couple of other side things I made. A couple minigames, side quests and optional bosses. The biggest of those bosses is the super boss. Yeah, this game is gonna have a super boss. One that is supposed to test everything the game can throw at you. I wanted them to be this game's lingering will, or Yozora. If I actually achieve that is up for debate. Just know, on average, it takes people 250 deaths with a fully upgraded save file to beat the super boss, and that's people who beat everything else in the game. They also say it's not bullshit, but actually a good fight. I always said that making something hard is easy. You can easily make insta-kill moves, make the boss ignore mechanics and be hostile to the player's capabilities instead of complementary. Again, I wanted Lingering Will or Yozora, not Mysterious Figure. fuck mysterious figure. I had to fight that cunt as Terra for the platinum, and that shit made me want to fucking kill my... I mentioned a lot about feedback, but what was actually feedbacked on? You see, after I made the game playable start to finish, I made a build and shared it with the members of my Discord. First via itch.io and then via Steam. As of the time of writing, there are 4 people who played the game start to finish. I gave keys to more people, but the 4 are the only ones that actually reached the ending. And the verdict is... positive. Like, really positive. Like, really surprisingly fucking positive. There were a few bugs here and there, a couple bricked save files, and the occasional boss that just refused to continue the fight. In the moment I wanted to tear my hair out each time they appeared, but reflecting back on it I realized making a game of this size alone, you will always have blind spots. Playtesters said the bugs weren't game breaking for the most part, just annoying. During the active days of the beta I was very quick to squash bugs and apply feedback. The game is a lot more stable now, but I think in the first few weeks of the actual release I will reignite the bug squasher. Of course the feedback was not only about bugs. There were visuals that people didn't like, encounters that needed tweaking, and the occasional great idea I would have never thought about. A lot of the beta time was spent running in circles just improving content and not really making anything new. That's the nature of the beast with betas. Well, it's that, and also the fact that I was earning my bachelor's in the middle of the beta happening, so I didn't have that much time to develop new content. Now the biggest point of feedback I am working on is the controls. Stuff feels a bit awkward in certain aspects. One thing is that you can run and walk, but when you jump you instantly go into the run momentum. I need to make that feel a little bit less awkward. The other thing is the usage of special tools. These tools give you stuff like gliding or high jump or whatever. People have complaints about how you use them exactly, and I need to make that better. And speaking of controls, controller, sport. It's kinda there right now, but I need to make it a high priority. The beta is currently still active, some people are still playing. Some very enthusiastic people. You can play as well if you're fast/perceptive enough. Wink wink. There was one thing however that I didn't expect would happen. I lost a lot of motivation to continue working after people beat the beta. People beat my game and enjoyed it, and honestly, that's all I wanted. That's all I desired from this project. Sure, there's only 4 people that got the game for free, but you know, I never made this game to be a crowd pleaser. This is a game I wanted to play and felt so strongly about it not existing that I worked for all this time to create. I got over it now and the motivation is back. Now I realize how close I am to the end. Before I continue with the next part, I want to say thank you very much to all the playtesters for the beta. I try to show my gratitude, but I feel like I'm not coming off as genuine enough at times. So without a hint of irony or humor, thank you everyone who plays or played the beta. From the bottom of my heart, Iridescent wouldn't be what it is now without you. Well, now, it's a lot and not a lot at the same time. I'm still going through the feedback to improve stuff, but let's focus on the tangible goals. For major fights/bosses, we have 5 left, 2 of which will be in the side dungeons. Like I mentioned before, the side dungeon is pretty much finished already. I just need a few tweaks, a paint job, and the new enemies/bosses. The other 3 fights are more behind short side quests. Speaking of, there's also a couple of side quests that need to be finished. Parts are done here and there, and now I had the dreaded task of actually finishing the damn things. Quests range from simple fetch quests to more boss fight related activities. I'm really not a fan of the copy-pasted side quest stuff you see in most games these days. So I'd rather have one good side quest than a couple copy-pasted ones. It's not like I'm not copy-pasting at points myself, but I at least try to refrain from it where possible. I realized that I made a lot of stuff that I only use once, sometimes literally only in one room and never again. I'm reusing some of that stuff now in the side content. I know that devalues the product, but I'm really trying to finish the damn thing a bit faster than planned. I also want to finish the controller support. Not only does it need the 100% functionality, well now it's like 95% for all the menus, but also it needs playtesting. People need to see how it works, where are the problems, what's a good default layout and the like. So now we're really close to release. I actually wanted to join this October's Steam Next Fest, but I didn't. Wait, I said the same last year. Partly because I didn't realize how close we were to release, and partially because I forgot. No, really, I fucking forgot. Anyway, I thought about finishing before the end of the year, but now I want to wait until March 2026, just so I can gain the boost to engagement from the next fest. Speaking of gaining boost, holy fuck do I need one. I have been doing my best to make content like always, but very little was able to move the needle. I made 2 big videos where I showed the whole process of making a minigame and a dungeon. But I realized those videos appeal less to consumers and more to other game devs. And really I want players, not the devs. YouTube subscribers and TikTok/Twitter followers didn't increase by a lot, and no content creator picked up the demo. My fault mostly because I'm just sitting there uploading videos and not contacting anyone directly. I sent the beta link to like 5 people without an answer. After this Steam Next Fest is over, I want to more aggressively send codes around to people so they cover the game. I currently have 58 unclaimed keys left. I want to send 50 to whoever might be interested. I'm making a list of random YouTubers and streamers who might be interested, but I'm stretching it thin with way too popular people and people who, let's say, interested in this kind of game is a really big fucking stretch to call them. If you know, or hell, are a YouTuber/streamer who is interested in this kind of game, then feel free to share and I will send the Steam code. I really do not care about size that much. You send a link or your name or whatever, I will find a way to contact you or them. In the full year I only got 130 wishlist. Not the best compared to the last year's 630. I'm hoping the Steam Next Fest will push me to at least 1000. We are in the final push of development, so I need to go full steam ahead. Or not at all. Ah, get it? Steam Next Fest. Fucking shit. Steam Next Fest. The final frontier. I have no clue what to do. No, really, I have no clue how it works. I understand I'm showing off my demo and live streaming the game. But what's besides that? I plan to update the demo with the improvements from the beta, as well as make the save file backwards compatible with the full game. But that's like 1 hour of work at worst. The current demo is the first 2 segments of the game. 2 levels, 2 dungeons, 2 big bosses, short, simple and sweet. I want to cut it down to just 1 segment. I feel like that is enough to tell people if the game is something for them, and making it playable for free will allow people to play it without having to use up their refund window. Bad practice for sales? Bold of you to assume I care about sales. Except for that, I am training my streamer skills. I have some knowledge about voiceovers. I made those 2 dev videos and this one, but that's mostly because I want to make a whole voice acted post-mortem when the game is done. Streaming though has the disadvantage that I can't cut out the parts where I sound like a fucking retard. I never tried to portray myself as especially capable, mostly because I know that the truth will catch up to me one day on the internet. With streaming, I fear I will say something really stupid in the heat of the moment. For now, I'm streaming games from other devs I started talking to. Some people in my Discord are game devs themselves, and we streamed each other playing each other's games in the Discord. Now I'm trying to play all the different games from all the different Discords I'm in and all the different devs I know. It's good practice for me, and it's good live playtesting for the devs. But yeah, like I said, we are really close to release. I'm thinking March 26, purely because someone mentioned they would buy the game twice if I released it then. After I finish Iridescent, in between bug fixes and feedback implementations of course, I plan to play every single game that's on my backlog. I promised myself that I can start a new game project only after I finish all the games on my backlog. To allow myself to ever work on a game ever again, I didn't add any games since like 2 years ago. My next project is either the museum, Plastic Noodles 2, or the ACID game. The museum is something I'm still thinking about, so the details are a bit fluid. All I say is I want to make a game every week or 2 weeks and put them in one big collection. Plastic Noodles 2 is straightforward. I made a small game for a streamer on vacation in my free time. It was a while back and I just did it to see if I could. But during that I had a lot of ideas that I couldn't implement because of time, and those ideas have been plaguing me ever since, so that's just kind of my outlet for that. And the last, ACID game is an unfiction game where you get access to a quote-unquote very old program that moves drones around, but you only see them via ACID art. My attempt to make a game without as much art as this one. Even when I start making the next game, I refuse to do another multi-year project. This was way too much. Thinking, stress, just planning, and just not being able to do anything else but this. I want to make Iridescent 2 at some point, but that's gonna be many years in the future. I need to calm down, learn a few new skills, and most of all, make some more games. Anyway, that's all for this video. This is kind of what happened this year, how far we are to the release, and what I plan to do afterwards. The next big video like this is probably going to be the post-mortem. Until then, probably shitpost and maybe a couple more serious stuff for Steam Next Fest. I hope I'll see everybody there. Now then, fuck off!